everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome to the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. We got an awesome show planned for you guys tonight. Tonight, we're going to revisit the show that we've done a couple times, and I want to discuss it tonight. Lab was just saying, bro, you know we done did this before. But
right.
It's a show that I think we needed to revisit again, because in today's climate with a lot of the crimes, a lot of the injustices you see on African Americans, and even a push for buying black and do business with blacks. And the question that I'm asking in regards to tonight's show is, do we need black-owned banks? Again, do we need black-owned banks? And we've done it several times. It's typically usually get the same sentiment in regards to everybody, because you ask people, I put up polls, yeah. Then you start asking why, and then people give reasons. They're giving their personal reasons, but they're not giving anything based off what they know. Probably what they want to have happen. And we're going to discuss all that again. Tonight we're asking that question, why do we need black-owned banks? Okay. Again, I'm Deonte Burden, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. On Mr. Short Dollar, we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and investing. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter.
That's right.
The main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, where we got over 600 videos. We got a grant playlist with over 150 grant opportunities. So regardless of where you're looking at, if you get knocked off or anything, make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar. Again, that's Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to get a notification, and take advantage of all the great information that we have on the YouTube channel. But regardless of where you're at right now, you're still in the right place, because we're going to, hook you up with some great information tonight. Have a great overall discussion.
That's right.
Also, guys, if you want to get into the discussion tonight, make sure you call into the call-in show. The number is, I'm about to mess something up. Look it up. The number is 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. Feel free to call in. Add to the discussion. Quick disclaimer: if you want to talk about anything that doesn't have anything to do with tonight's show, please hold all your questions for the end of the show. I promise you, I will answer all questions. If it's something regarding business, entrepreneurship, grants, or anything like that, I will open the floor up at the end of the show to answer any questions. But tonight we are discussing, answering the question, or discussing this question, why do we need black-owned banks, okay? Before we get started, I want to say what's up and introduce my awesome producers, DJ Lab.
What's going on, brother?
Man, what's happening, man?
It's Thursday, best day of the week. Only thing is raining.
Absolutely.
Right. But other than that, we good.
Shit, all the time, baby, all the time. And also, so what's up to my other producer, Slick 316? What's up, Rick? Hey, what, like, in the whole, before I get started, say happy belated birthday to my best friend, my road dog, James Pate. Happy belated birthday to my dog, man. That's my road dog since school, man.
Okay.
One of my best friends. But again, we're asking that question, why do we need black-owned banks? And a lot of times, especially when the whole with what just happened with Tyree Nichols, and I see all the time when things go out, especially with police injustices, there's like an onslaught of growth for social media. Buy black, do this and do that. And I get into a lot of discussions with me. I'm a board member for 100 Black Men South Metro. I do a lot of stuff in the community. I love my people. But a lot of times, people, when you get in discussions, they speak of what they think as opposed to what they know. So we try to have a conversation with people. I always be kind of mindful of, when I'm talking to somebody, I'm getting their opinion as opposed to factual information.
Okay.
We had that show before,
right.
The difference between a fact and an opinion. We know a fact is something that can't be refuted. Opinion is just something how you feel, how you think. And sometimes people get those strong opinions confused with facts.
And they can make themselves believe it's a fact.
Absolutely.
If it's strong enough.
Yeah, just like a damn lie.
I saw this on the news.
Yeah, you seen that hell. Yeah, you tell a lie so damn long you believe it's the truth.
Right.
So, with asking that question, why do we need, black-owned banks? Because I know we've seen tons of, not tons, we've seen postings over the past couple of years in regards to different black-owned banks. I know Killer Mike had the, what's that one bank? I can't remember which bank it was, but he had a bank that he was pushing, online black-owned bank, and the narrative a lot of times is that people, if we have black-owned banks, we'll be able to get more black-owned businesses, be able to get more funding, because one of the biggest things we know with black-owned businesses, one of the main struggles is getting access to capital. And the thought process, a lot of times, from me getting intel and asking questions, people believe that if they have that access to capital, they'll be able to create more businesses. Theoretically, that probably be true. The issue comes up is, why don't we have that access to capital? And with having tonight's discussion, I think it's a whole lot deeper than just we don't have black-owned banks. And that's why I want to have that discussion with you guys this evening in regards to that. Why do we need black-owned banks? Because far too often, I think people are responding to the whole subject based on emotion.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we start talking about why do we need it? Is it even feasible to have it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There you go. Thanks, Lab.
Okay.
Lab, Mr. Webster tonight. APS graduate.
All right.
So by asking that question, but people will state it. So in the past, I've done two polls. I've had them on Facebook and Instagram, where it's, do we need black-owned banks? And 90% of it, yeah. And then when I ask the second question, I get a great moment of silence. Why do we need black-owned banks? I don't know.
Because we just do.
I don't know.
We just do.
Yeah. We need it, shawty. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Right. We need it, shawty. That's a good one.
Damn, because you're asking people, why do they feel the way they feel? And when you put stuff up like that immediately tells you people really don't have any clue whatsoever. It takes to actually have or no banking or lending or anything practices. They base their responses pretty much what they feel is going to personally benefit them,
right?
Or benefit people like them. Because when you ask those particular things, people think, okay, I can, what I just said before, start businesses, buy cars, buy houses and stuff like that. But we know fundamentally, people understand still at the end of the day, okay, cool. Thanks, Coco Kid Mom. Greenwood is the Killer Mike Bank that he promoted. Greenwood. Okay. Greenwood. And let's say we need them in. They're going to help. If not, they're the same as the white ones. I think they are all the same. Well, we're gonna get to that. The comment is that we need them if they're going to help us. If not, they're the same as the white ones. I think all banks are pretty much the same. I just think all banks have different marketing.
Oh, okay.
In regards to this is my niche, that is my niche, and who they target. But the basic principles are still going to be the same. We're going to discuss those. Okay. But like I said, just that poll just told me a lot in regards to what a lot of people actually know and expect from their banks. Like you just walk in, can I get some money? And just if it's a black-owned bank, they're not going to look for any kind of documentation or credit scores. Like that's still going to be there.
Right.
But I don't think that is sold to people. When people say, hey, get this black-owned bank, you get access to capital, but I don't think that's sold. Now, I've looked at the marketing. I went to Black Empowerment conferences. I've been to different venues in regards to people talking about black banking and black finance and talking about access to capital. The actual credentials that it takes you to get funding, that's discussed less as opposed to the creation of the actual black-owned banks. Right. And, you'll find out real quick when you have some of these black-owned banks, most of the people getting loans ain't black-owned business. What's that on the chat?
Oh, they talking.
Okay, cool.
They talking about the show. Let me ask you, but it's like this situation. You know how people say, I'm gonna take my kids out of school and I'm a homeschooler. But the fact is, you still have to follow the curriculum of the state curriculum in order for them to go to the next grade and be accredited to go to the next grade and to go to college. You still need those state mandated curriculum and state mandated things to go to the next grade, accreditation.
Yeah.
So even though you school them at home, which might be a little bit better, you're still not doing anything different from the schooling that they're getting in school. You still have to follow that curriculum. You may teach them a little different, but people make it seem like, oh, I'm going to homeschool and I'm going to teach them. I'm not teaching nothing in that school, but actually you are going to have to teach them exactly the same stuff if you want that accreditation.
Well, the thing that comes up, to be totally honest with you, is that just like with the charter schools? Everybody said, well, the kid getting in school at the public school, the grades ain't there. Well, I'm gonna put him in this because I'm gonna get him out of Clayton County schools. I'm gonna put him in this charter school, and they realize the charter school full of a whole lot of people just like them.
Right.
Same damn kid. There are more kids like them. They just put in a charter school.
Right.
What's up, my boy Kristen tuned in. BMU Black Men United. We need them if they're going to help. If not, they're the same. Yeah. No, that was Chris put that. I thought that was Coco. Man, what's up, Chris? I'm sorry about that.
What's going on, Chris?
BMU. Yeah. No, but that's the thing about it, and that's a great point. I just think that what they're doing and what they have done and what's marketed, totally different.
I think we get tied up into the title of black-owned bank. I think that's where the title, what I'm saying, that marketing strategy comes in there, because is it totally black-owned? I mean, I'm just asking, like, you have to look at go deeper into the bank to see exactly who owns the bank. I mean, starting a bank is not easy. It takes a certain amount of capital. It takes a certain amount of legality. It takes a bunch of things that you have to go through in order to start a bank. You can't just wake up today and say, I got $5 million. I think I'm starting a bank. It don't work that way.
I think banks are set up and marketed towards niches as opposed to just a particular race. What I mean by niches, I'm talking about some may specialize in businesses, some may specialize in home building, some may specialize in commercial lending, some may specialize, just certain kind of different developments, but most of the time they're not necessarily based on black.
Right.
I think you do have some banks that are, I forgot the exact number, and that's one thing I should have just checked. I knew when we did the last show, I think it was 2020. How many was it?
How many black-owned banks?
Black-owned banks.
I can look that up right now.
Check that out for me, Larry.
1 sec.
But
we're gonna do it right. We do it right here on this show.
Yeah, but with that, I think the perceived thing from a marketing standpoint is black-owned. But at the end of the day, your niche is still your niche, be it commercial lending or whatever. And when you start falling into those niches, you find out real quick majority of the people that actually have ties to the bank from a lending perspective are not black. And see, that's the thing about it. A lot of times people, we start talking from the black community, we'll get the accounts there and open it up because that's what's sold to us. But it doesn't go further than that. And possible perceived needs for the black-owned banks to be viable. People may think it's just community support, people joining it and everything. What you got, Lad?
Okay, as of October 14, 2022, to be considered a black-owned bank, a financial institution must serve minority communities and be at least 51% black-owned. So there are 42 black-owned banks as of February 2023.
How many?
42.
42. That's cool. Yeah. I wonder with that, how many are online? Just online banks. And the reason why I even say that is because in the past 5 years, probably maybe a year or two prior to the pandemic, a lot of banks were going to that mobile online because you was able to actually cut a lot of costs without having a brick and mortar or physical location and everything there, and they was actually a lot less stringent than the ones that had the brick and mortar, your traditional banks. The issue of it was that probably a lot more less accessible because they didn't have, because they were so cheap, they had the actual structure set in place. You really couldn't get in contact with anyone because most of the time it was free cost or lower cost because they were selling an online bank. You don't have to pay for these particular fees, but again, when you start paying these particular fees, you also ain't getting no customer support.
Right. But what was the name of the bank that you said Khalil Mike was supporting? What was it?
Greenwood.
Yeah. See, Greenwood got a lot of but they digital.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Just being, with that again, and I've never heard. I've seen a big push towards joining it, but I haven't seen feedback in regards to accessibility, giving funding and things like that. I'm 150% positive without even looking. They're not
can cover all the states. They're in just about every state because they're digital. So
yeah. But see, the thing of it is, when we start looking at banks, what do we need? What are you looking at? You need a bank for?
I need to walk in there and talk to somebody.
Exactly.
If something happened to my account, if something going on with my mortgage, I don't need to be calling customer service and getting somebody, no offense to people in other countries, they need work too. Get somebody in another country. I need to go in the bank and be like, hey, you charged me double on my mortgage this month. You know what I mean? And talk to somebody physically and show them what I'm talking about instead of this rigmarole going back and forth on the phone.
Okay, let's say that again. And again, tonight the show we're discussing why do we need black-owned banks, right? Okay, theoretically, let's take that. Let's level the playing field. Mm-hmm. Let's say everybody has access to customer service. Okay, everybody has access to customer service. So no matter where you at, you can call and talk to somebody.
Okay.
You call and talk to somebody. Matter of fact, they ain't in Bangladesh. You understand what they saying and everything, and they asking how your kids doing and where you at. I'm in
that rain going.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona. I'm in Atlanta. Y'all have y'all shooting the breeze. So that's negated.
Okay.
What do you need now?
So the customer service is gone. We covered.
Yeah. Theoretically,
for me, with the business that we run here, access to capital is one. Mm-hmm. But just good banking, just be able to have great banking. That's it. I just need regular banking services.
And that's the thing about it. I think the access to capital is the differentiator because again, you're going to have some banks that are a lot more accessible from a customer service standpoint. Mm-hmm. You're going to have some banks that are a lot more responsive in regards to the operations. Say if you got retail, if you got service companies, or anything different kind of transactional stuff going on. Some banks are going to be more responsive because that may be their quote unquote niche, right? Who they service the most.
Okay.
But we start talking about leveling the playing field. The end of the day, you want to be able to walk somewhere and get some money, and we start theoretically looking at it. What's going to be the same thing, no matter what it is, with the banks? Fees. We're looking at fees. We're looking at fees. Let's say all that level. Say everybody charging $5-10 a month.
Okay.
Everybody charging $5-10 a month and everything. Because at that point, it really just come down, well, they white, they black. And I think psychologically, a lot of times, if everything equal, white folks going to go to white, blacks going to go to black, unless something's inconvenient. Because that's just kind of human nature.
Okay.
If I know I'm going to get the same level of customer service at bank white and same level of customer service at bank black, I'm probably prone to go to bank black because, it's more natural. And white folks do that, Asian do that, Indian, however you want to do it.
Exactly.
What changes everything is what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. I want to get me a loan for this business. I want to get this credit card. I want to get this funding. And that's the differentiator. Because like I say, again, we got everything leveled as far as customer service, everything leveled in regards to fees, accessibility, things like
ATMs.
that. Yeah, ATM, all that leveled out.
Mm-hmm.
Black man got the same thing.
Well,
white
if you
man.
leveling everything out, then when it comes to just getting capital and loans and stuff, everybody's going to be different. I mean, every bank is going to have different protocol to give Poochie that loan.
Well, not necessarily.
You might get it down here at Joe's bank, but down here at Lee's bank, I need a little bit more information.
Well, let's just say everybody, for the most part, still going to have the same kind of criteria, right? That's the kicker. Now I think that's where everybody get lost at. Everybody get lost. They still going on the personal side. They still going to look at your credit score and your income.
Okay.
On the business side, they're going to look at your credit score, your income, your collateral, your experience, and the industry.
Okay.
Right.
Bingo.
And that's the differentiator.
Okay.
And most of them black-owned banks, they're looking at the same thing. But what's the problem? Your customer base, they ain't got it.
Okay.
They ain't got it.
So the capital part is a little bit different.
Well, the capital part of
I'm talking about for the bank's capital. See, like you may have, I'll give you a good example. That wasn't me and you. We talking about HBCUs. Yeah, that was me and you. Talking about HBCUs having a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And when we talked about it, and I didn't know this until after. I'm just giving examples. When we talked about it, I didn't know this until after we had the show and had the conversation. We were talking about how Howard had $800 and some $1 million endowment. But I just heard recently that Harvard has a $25 billion endowment. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So the differences in that.
Totally different.
Now, the top for the black, the HBCUs is $800 million. You know what I mean? That's not even the top. I don't think Harvard is the top when it comes to endowments. But the top endowment for HBCUs is Harvard, and that's $800 million.
You said Howard.
Howard is $800 million. It was $800 something million. They were the top. They had the most money. But the top for, let's say, white colleges that don't necessarily have a diverse admission, admission program is $25 billion.
Well, I can understand that for some fact that you got more whites than proportion of blacks, so we still 12 to 15% of the population. So I can kind of get with that, but it is a big disparity. You start looking at it, because not just that we not really with their greatest, we probably ain't matching with their mid-tier.
Mid-tier, right? Mid-tier, mid-tier high speed. But that's the example, you know what I'm saying? So black-owned banks being in minority communities, and I'm not saying we are poor, not like that, but you know, we have a little bit of time getting to where we need to be too.
Yeah.
So their capital within that bank, their fees, and within that system, because let's be honest, bank make money off their fees. It's not like they just, you know what I'm saying, they make money off loaning your money to me. That's a fee. Getting your money out the ATM from their bank, that's a fee. You having a checking account with them, that's a fee. If you send something with your debit card and it's $10 and you only got $8, that's a fee. You get what I'm saying? So we all got to be honest. All banks make money with their fees.
Yeah, but that's why I say take the fees out the equation. Somebody got to comment.
Nah, I'm just making sure.
But take the fees out the equation. It's not the banks. It's the customers.
It's the customers.
And what I mean by the customers is the issue is how. Let's stop for a second. And this is what the thought process is. If we get black-owned banks, they'll be a lot more lenient with us than the white-owned banks that we're having challenges with. Which they really can't be that, because banks are regulated. And at the end of the day, how can they stay open if your ass ain't gonna pay them back?
Okay.
Now we don't want to talk about that because we want money. We want money.
Let's talk about it.
But we don't want to pay it back. So how the hell you expect the bank to stay open?
So the bank won't be able to sustain itself if they're giving out everybody loans, and if they're giving out
your cousin
60% loans and 45% of the people don't pay them back, they're not gonna be able to sustain themselves.
Come on now.
Okay.
Come on now.
Okay.
And your cousins ain't thinking about paying no. They want all the money. You can go on
my cousin gonna pay it back. Oh, you don't know my family like that. I'm just messing with you.
Man, you can go on TikTok, Instagram. That's all you hearing. Hey, this the play to get $30,000 in credit. Hey, this the new way to go to Navy Federal Credit Union and get this and get that. And you can max out this card, apply for this, and 3 months you do this, and then you got 100,000. Ain't nobody said a damn thing about paying shit back. Ain't nobody said a damn thing about the actual payment.
You talking about the gloomy part?
Yeah, 20.
We're talking about happiness.
So, in essence, so you sitting there looking like, look, man, you really gonna destroy what you done broke your neck to build. And far too often that happens. We want to have this in the community, have that in the community, but we don't take care of stuff. And so we sit there and whine, about it, because when we start whining and complaining about things we don't have, we don't really cherish those particular things, right? Think about it. Keep real, like you talking to somebody that's very active in the community,
right? I know.
Always and all this other stuff. So I ain't sitting. I ain't sitting here just shooting shit off the top of my head.
Right.
But I've seen too many times where we want things, but we don't want to do what it takes to keep things.
Okay.
Again, guys, remember the call-in number is 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. Feel free to call in. But today, just theoretically, man. You see it so often. We want to get this, we want to get that, get these particular things. I guarantee you, Lab, the actual criteria for the lending is still gonna be the same.
Okay.
You can't, and sometimes you can actually. What I talk about all the time, we talk, lending and finance and business lending. Business is all about relationships.
Right.
You might know Earl at the bank, and hey man, listen, hey D, look, I know you got a slow period. I can bump your line of credit up because we got a relationship.
Right. Because
we've been doing bank for a while. I can call you, that kind of stuff like that. And again, you can look at it white, black. I think it's just business. Because at the end of the day, you got some folks that look, I ain't gonna deal with nothing but white. I ain't gonna deal with nothing but black. I ain't gonna deal with Asian and everything. And some of them survive, but most of them don't. Because the main color when start coming to money is green.
That's true.
But the thing of it is, if I know you can't bring no more green to me, what value do you bring to me? Right? Because at the end of the day, the bank trying to make money, you trying to make money, and we talk about it all the time. We doing deals. Both parties want to feel good about the situation.
Right. Everybody want to be happy.
Yeah, people can't stay open because, hey man, Lab's a good guy. I believe in Lab. Bullshit.
Now they pay me back in 3 years, but man, I believe he's gonna turn that corner.
When it's time get money back from Poochie, man, he might go and get in that line, man. That line right around down corner. wrapped around the damn corner.
Right. And I guess that was the example I was giving with the schools, taking them out of the public school system. The criteria is going to be the same.
Yeah.
Because you need that accreditation in order for it to get them in college later on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same process.
What is always said, that kind of information with investing and financial literacy, that ain't taught in school. It was taught in damn school. I was in the damn financial service management program. Mm-hmm. Nobody want to do it's boring. Accounting and finance is boring as shit.
Them numbers is boring.
It's interesting when you get grown. When you grown and you got no damn money, then it gets interesting in shit. Like, yeah, I can do this and do that. But that shit boring. Mm-hmm. And I understand that. Mm-hmm. And everybody does not have an innate interest in that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, you see kids that be in the debate club. Some kids go to auto mechanics. Some go to wood tech and everything. And excuse me, some may be doing it because they have to do it. Some do it because they have a general interest in the subject.
Right.
But far too often, people don't want to look into delve further because it's boring. Mm-hmm. And, you get older, now you start, like, let me settle down. Now I can actually want to start reading, and now I want to look at that. I get it. Mm-hmm. But you can't look back, and people don't want to go back and look at that man in the mirror and just say, have that person accountability. Look, man. Shit, damn well I wasn't interested in that. Right, shit. I wasn't trying to do that and everything. Because again, if that was the case, you have far more people that get into it. They had the stuff there. Mm-hmm. Again, but if you
especially when we were young in school. I don't know about so much school now, but when we were younger, it was a lot like you learned how to write checks in home ec. I mean, it's just certain things you did. Like it's just certain classes you had that you took. I took drafting because I wanted to be an architect. You get what I'm saying? So
they're the same stuff now. They're the same stuff now.
Okay.
I'm just saying that looking at my kids' stuff in regards to, basic banking. Mm-hmm. It's still like your basic home ec. They got different names for it. If you want to do like high school level business 101, mm-hmm. they have all that kind of stuff. Now here's the deal. Now you the damn way your child can't damn read. Don't be having any kind of expectations.
That's a teaching that
your child a damn rock. Shit. We can't even get his ass to 1 + 1. Right. And you know how you are.
So your child better than anybody.
You and your child, both of y'all counting up shit.
Hey, don't be making fun of me, Pooch.
What you trying to? No, I ain't been in school in 20 years. You ain't your kid. Both, you know your personal aptitude. So we can sit here and just say, well, they didn't teach this, they didn't teach that. If you a rock or your child is a rock, again, like, come on now. Because, and if you got this kid that's like a damn brainiac, like you got some that like just basic damn savants, like they really
know.
Hey man, they on another level. Kind of how Poochie was when I was a kid, and so being honest, like sometimes you people have certain expectations that aren't realistic. So theoretically, they'll say we don't have these particular things, but just being accountable, just being 100 with yourself. Man, I wasn't interested in that. And you start going in that because, just being an accountant over 20 years, accounting is very, very boring work. It's very redundant work. Same thing all the time. So nobody want to do it, right? And so when you look at it, a lot of times people on the outside looking in think people just putting stuff in the checkbook. Mm-hmm. But if it was that damn simple, you wouldn't be paying accountants so much damn money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it was something that simple. I mean, the same way when people look at, they take their ass on Judge Judy, trying to state their case and really don't know the damn law, and everything. I mean, but sometimes we think things are a whole lot easier than what it is, especially when we start looking at it from a lending standpoint. Again, theoretically, I feel like you should be able to help me out, but can the bank survive? Damn thriving. Can they even survive by distributing out funds and, to high-risk people? I understand people get sick, people lose jobs, go through divorce and stuff like that. God, I done did eat all the above. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I understand having financial challenges. But what's the issue is, people don't want to go through the process of rebuilding and rebounding through the financial challenge. They just want to go back to step one from the beginning. That ain't how shit work.
Go back to scratch.
That ain't how it works. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think that's the issue because, when we start talking about all the things, that people should be learning, I think, and I've said this enough, it's not an issue that we need. Before we need black-owned banks, black people need to know how to bank.
Right.
That's the thing, what it is. Black people need to know how to bank. They need to know the concepts, what it takes to actually, deal with your bank, how to maintain the relationships, how to actually get access to lending and stuff like that. But why people don't want to do that? Just knowing your basic financial literacy, banking, credit, budgeting, set yourself up retirement. I ain't talking about getting rich. I ain't talking about
being comfortable.
Yeah, just being comfortable. Being comfortable and having some kind of basic aptitude on how basic banking works. Why that's not being pushed? Because that shit boring.
It is.
It's boring. It's time consuming. It's slow. Requires commitment. Requires accountability. All kind of stuff that people like, I ain't got time for that.
I actually don't want to do it.
I ain't got time.
Say, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to blame it on Poochie.
Who got time
When you got to do all that stuff, accountability, commitment, spending time, no excitement, nobody want to deal with that.
Right.
That turns so many people off when you start having them kind of conversations. When people call all the time, Mr. Short Dollar, listen, I see you on YouTube and everything, brother, I appreciate what you're doing and stuff like that. But I want to get this business started. What do you think I need to do? Cool. All right, man. They tell me a story, go back, back and forth, get a little intel. Well, listen, why don't you do this? Do A and B and C, and then wait about 6 months to a year. Then go revisit your bank back, to see what they want to what they need from you. Because most of the time, I would tell people, go to your bank, go to your lenders first, because you kind of wasting time talking to me, and that's why I always tell people to be very careful with this information on the internet. Because how can I tell you what Lab want to hear for Lab to give me money?
Right.
I don't need to listen to you. I need to listen to Lab. So I said, go to your banker, see what they need to see, because you can theoretically be doing some stuff that can actually improve your credit score, can improve your credit standing, and actually give you opportunity to get funding. But it makes more sense to go to the people that are going to give you the money, because they may not necessarily need that from you.
Right.
They may put more of the emphasis on collateral. They may put more of the emphasis on experience. They may put more emphasis on credit or income. So you put in such time someone trying to get your score up, and the other stuff ain't what they really want to see, is not there. You really don't waste the time theoretically.
Okay.
And when you had this kind of conversation with people, the phone get quiet. Man, it's gonna take a little time, because you didn't get in bad shape overnight, and you definitely gonna fix it overnight.
Right.
And the issue come up is when somebody give you access to capital, access to information, people get that confused as being something that gonna be beneficial to you. And you start you now you got this damn loan with this high rate.
The rate is
and you paying this payment that just so you can't get it, but you so enamored because you got access to the money, but it just
come about that part.
Bite you in the butt.
I'll worry about that later.
Cross that bridge when I get there.
Slick say that people feel like as long as they can count money, they good.
Yeah, that's it. But again, like I said, the whole concept of paying the money back is one of them things that ain't gonna work. Excuse me. Okay, this is from Cookie's Mom 006. Exactly. We need financial literacy classes to educate people on options available to them. Totally agree. But who gonna sit there in it? Who gonna sit in the
Pooch?
Huh?
Why not Pooch?
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean,
who gonna sit in it?
Who gonna sit in? Who wants to actually sit down and when you start getting into financial literacy and all that? Again, I feel like people are not interested in it until there's a perceived need.
Right,
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
They're not proactive, they're reactive.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And when you start looking at one of the basic components of compound interest and investing is time. What is it? Rate over time divided by rate minus time. Going back to my finance days.
I'm not a CPA. My degree is not in CPA.
Rate minus time divided by payments. With the whole that's a mathematical equation for interest. We start looking at compound interest, looking at the coupon payments and looking at the rate. But the key component is the time. So you are looking at those periods. You can have a small amount when you start at 20 to 60, whereas now you're forcing yourself to get more added to it when you start at 40, 50 years old. Problem with that theoretically is what? Are you really in the position to put in that higher deposit amount depending on where you are in life?
Okay.
And that's the thing about it. Well, we talk all the time about that. And again, that is the issue far too often. When in our community, when we start talking about banking, are we going to
start at 21 saving for the retirement? You know what I'm saying?
I think you can start at least in your 20s, stretching it in your 30s, you put just, you don't have to put a lot. When you hit 40, you kind of, and what I always say again, be realistic what you're trying to do. Because we said it before, lab is real big on the summers. But again, let's say you retire at 60 and you plan to live to 80. And just, I ain't trying to scare y'all, simple math. You retire at 60, plan to live to 80, that's 20 years. You need 30,000 a year to live off of because kids grown. Mortgage might be paid off, but you need that to kind of sustain 30,000.
Right.
That's $600,000.
Okay.
Do you really think you got no time to save that up? And you started at 45. Shit.
Yes. I'm gonna tell myself yes. I'm dealing in my feelings, not my facts. Yes, I can do it.
Hey, you too old to do something strange for some change. You just be doing something strange.
Just something strange. Won't be no change.
Ain't no change at all. What we got here? Free Spirit 5061. Absolutely, I agree with you. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, tonight's show we're discussing why do we need black-owned banks. This is the Dollar Hour. I am Deonte Burden, a.k.a. Mr. Short Dollar himself. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter. The main hub is the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel. Regardless of what platform you're looking at right now, make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar YouTube. Over 600 videos on the YouTube channel. Take advantage of all the great information that we got, different angles for everybody to see the information that's on there. But definitely go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to get a notification each time we upload a new video. Because like I said, this show will be from a different angle. We got the YouTube channel got the best angle.
Right.
We'll take advantage of it and stuff. Because, like, far too often, that is what's pushed so much on people. We need to get black-owned bank. We need to work together, working with doing it. And people get this whole euphoria outlook, like we're in Wakanda, we can get vibranium and just, be able to build and create everything we want. And, we ain't even got cotton.
That's not real?
Oh, hell no.
Well, let me throw this out there. I guess we could do that. I was going to give you the I want to, but I don't know if we should give you the names of the black-owned banks, but we won't do that.
No, give me a couple of them. Got Citizen Trust here.
Yes. In Atlanta, just in Atlanta alone, we got, in Georgia, let's go with Georgia.
One bank? Is it one bank?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ones. This is banks and credit unions.
Okay, shoot.
So black-owned credit unions, too.
Okay.
So, Citizens Trust, First Choice.
Uh-huh.
Then the credit union of Atlanta, United Neighborhood Federal Credit Union, and Carver State Bank. Then you got Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Federal Credit Union. You know they had a credit union, huh?
No, I know now.
Okay, but those are just the ones in Georgia.
Okay.
Of course, the ones online, Kinley is an online bank. MoCaFi is an online bank. Greenwood, of course, they got a waiting list to join. Those are the 3 online banks. All the rest of these are branches. They got branches in these areas. So
yeah. I think theoretically, again, what's pushed in regards to having black-owned banks, what's pushed and what's available, 2 whole different things. Because a lot of times people don't know. The average person is not an accountant like me. They ain't been dealing with financial service over 20 years.
Right.
Because there's questions I'm gonna ask. Just like you go into the car lot. With you and your old lady go to the car lot, and you tinker with cars. You tinker with cars and everything, but you're not a mechanic. There are questions that you can ask, but there's deeper questions the actual mechanic or the auto tech can ask.
Right.
Same thing like with you might have been a medical assistant. There's things you can ask, but then actual RN or actual medical doctor, they can get more deeper
into
in regards to their questions. And so a lot of times what's presented, hey man, we can do this from a banking perspective, people just kind of like, we've talked about this before. We pick our leaders and the people that we receive information off popularity, not competence.
Right.
Because you can have a Killer Mike or put a T.I. or put some kind of celebrity in front of a bank, and people are like, okay, cool, I'm going to join. It sounds good. And you seen that with a couple years ago, that whole thing with Jay Morrison and the Tulsa Fund.
Okay.
And I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I know you had the whole thing with everybody fussing and stuff like that. But, that brother, again, I don't want to sit and talk about what anybody did right or wrong, but at the end of the day, you got to be kind of sharp enough to understand, like, look, I might want to get somebody a little bit more competent when I, start dealing with my money.
Money, right.
Because we look at health, family, and money. That's probably what most important to everybody. And money might skip the first down too, health too. So, and a lot of times people don't necessarily want to be accountable for that kind of stuff. It's easy to say, what, I didn't know. Why the hell you didn't know? Nobody want to take due diligence, spend time to find stuff out. Free Spirits 5061. I had that typed so I can pass it on. I had that typed so I can pass it on. I need that type so I can pass it on. Listen, go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. We won't be able to put it into the TikTok or the Instagram, but if you go to the YouTube channel, I'll make sure that we'll put a link in the description section of the video. That is the main hub, the YouTube channel. So again, you revisit that, look in the description section of the video. I'll make sure wherever lab has the link for the black-owned banks and stuff, we'll make sure we have that set up in there, okay? So definitely go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar. Who's that in there? We got people coming in. Lady Exquisite One, hello. How you doing, young lady? Thanks for tuning in. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, again, we're streaming live on, you're quite welcome, and I appreciate it. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and what else am I forgetting, Lab? YouTube, well, whatever. But again, the YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah.
We all over the place, ain't we? All over the bubble.
We everywhere.
My mom didn't come in.
Oh, hold on.
I was just talking.
She just came in. 9:02.
My mama did.
Hello, Pooch. She here. Hey, Mama.
Mom late as hell. Thanks, Mom. I was just thinking about her.
Yeah, she came in. She was busy. So she got mom stuff to do.
Mom stuff to do.
Slick said that people think black banks will understand them better and be more lenient than white banks. And I get her point on that because I go with black doctors because I feel like myself, if I go with a black doctor, he gonna understand my plight. He don't gonna understand that I probably need some fried chicken every now and then. He's not gonna tell me to stop eating fried chicken because he gonna understand me as a black man, certain things that I go through and I experience that may cause me to have health issues. You get what I'm saying?
I agree with that, but I think and theoretically I understand and I understand that perspective. But I think what the doctor wants and what the bank wants, two whole different things.
Right.
And I think the familiarity with, because black bodies are black bodies. Black anatomy is black anatomy.
Right.
So we're prone, hypertension, pre-diabetes, diabetes, things like that, stress, things that we may be prone to as African American. That's just across the board.
Okay.
But sometimes just assuming that this brother will understand my plight. This brother might not have any financial problems. He may have never dealt with black people at all. Again, I'm just saying.
Right.
So it's a different thing. Right. And
he went to Harvard.
Exactly. Hey, sure. I don't know, y'all. What you just say, Lab? Man, my damn cousin. Shit. So you don't know.
Right.
But the thing of it is that it's more so sold with a black-owned bank. To that point, what Slick just said, I think it's sold. Hey, we're a black-owned bank. Come black. Hey, they're not selling. Hey, you want. And that's the kicker. If I'm wrong, show me.
Right. If
I'm wrong, show me. You're not going to see, hey, get faster response times. We got 300 ATMs nationwide. We have, 2 or 3, 48 hours processing of home loans. You're not going to see that.
Right.
You're not going to see that. You're going to see, come bank with us because we black. We ain't got no damn dough. We ain't got no
respect. If you want be treated right.
I don't even think they're getting that. I just say come with a, listen, we ain't saying we got a damn computer. We ain't got no money right now. Just come with us with black. And I understand the actual desire to want to deal with your people.
Right.
Like I said, I'm like that. Yeah. But sometimes you got to be realistic about can they deliver what I need. And I deal with some. I ain't gonna mention no names. Some of them damn banks you mentioned earlier. In Atlanta, and black-owned banks, and come on, man, I couldn't even get online access. You go into the bank, I mean, I ain't even getting to that. But because the reason why I don't want to get into that because
what you want?
I'm not the type
work in the bank.
Well, I can go to the white bank and get bad customer service, so I don't want to throw that into it. But again, far too often, when that thing is sold to you, come to us with as a black-owned bank. It's not sold to you as far as what they can do to you as a customer.
Okay.
And so when you sell that, you're going to get what come along with that. Because if we mature and develop as an individual, we want more stuff. You know what I'm saying? You at 22, 32, 42, 52, everything changes.
Right.
You went from the kid that probably maybe wanted just a credit card to go shopping to this person in their 50s. You're thinking about retirement. You're looking at paying off the house, maybe get some stuff set up for your grandkids. Things change. And can that bank be responsive to your financial desires? And a lot of times, you know, if people open up for certain things, they just ain't looking at it like that. We just want to get money in with that. And unfortunately, because people don't delve into that side of it, just see, okay, can they handle the things I'm looking for? Or sometimes people, when they go into it, they don't have things. But, you know, just they, from a knowledge standpoint or interest standpoint, that's all they want is just put their money into a bank. But then when things happen, you can't get approved for that car. You can't get approved for that credit card. You can't get access to these loans. Now they're tripping. And I think that's probably the biggest issue because, again, fundamentally, everything's still the same, right? Everything's still the same, lad. Still the same. The personal loan, they're going to look at your income and your credit. The business loan, income, credit, collateral, industry, and experience. Shit, can't get around it.
Right.
Can't get around it. If you got a personal relationship with it, they might be more lenient. They might be more empathetic to you, or they might say, "Hey, we know what's going on because listen, you have that." But you know, for the most part, you know, listen, we can't do nothing with you. And again, you got to be realistic about, you know, just looking in from the outside looking in. If majority of people just looking to get money, but nobody has no real interest of paying them back, how long are they gonna sustain? Because everybody, you don't say everybody, but a lot of us been through stuff. So it's understood. So people say, look, man, I just need a chance. I need some help.
Opportunity.
You need an opportunity, this, that, and that. And that's true. But you still ain't got no interest in paying these damn folk back. You just need the damn money. Look, I figure that shit out later. Man, you give me that damn money. Man, damn all that.
Talking about all that other stuff.
Yeah, you talking about all that shit. I'm trying to go to Cancun. Yeah, for real, man. All that stuff. I just seen this shit on Instagram. I'm finna get that loan. Max all these cards out.
Right.
You know, and unfortunately, like, hey, that's a never-ending cycle for people. A never-ending cycle for a lot of folks. So when we start looking theoretically, again, asking the question, why do we need black-owned banks? I think it's good to have from a symbolic standpoint, but I don't want to have black-owned banks, black-owned businesses open up, and we ain't going to do them right because we'll sit there and campaign for all these things we need in the community, but a lot of times we don't do right. To make sure
sustaining that.
To sustain it, exactly.
To sustain that thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And that ain't, you know, we talking about everybody doing fair. You ain't asking for no hookups or no this, that, and that. They delivering what they supposed to deliver. But again, like, you gotta be, you know, willing to actually put yourself in a position and put those things in your community position for them to be okay. But again, why is the issue gonna come up? Because people's stuff ain't together.
Okay.
And this is just me speaking, right? And I always be transparent about with me. When I wanted to leave my job and work for myself, it took my damn 2 years to get my stuff together. I was okay with it.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
I was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was very challenging being around people I didn't want to be around. But on the flip side of it is, I knew what I wanted to do.
Right.
A lot of times you have these conversations with people and explain to them, hey, man, you can do this, but it's going to take that. Nah, man, I don't want to do that.
I don't want,
yeah, exactly. But you want to do it right. I think people have seen plenty of times, you've seen all these subdivisions pop up around the country. You know, they throw a house up in damn 2 or 3 weeks like a damn gingerbread house. All they do, the big bad wolf walk by, huff, puff, and blow it down. Right. But you have some that take time. They've been diligent in creating the structure, putting the framework up. May take a couple months, but they're going through everything, taking the time, make sure they got a solid foundation, everything set up, and they can handle a tornado. Yeah, they can handle a good strong wind. But if you don't actually take your time to make sure everything right, when you have like little setbacks, things like that can crumble. And that's what I think, you know, we're just keeping it real. People, you can do an honest assessment of yourself to understand how patient, disciplined you are. That don't change.
Right.
That don't change. What we say all the time, people campaign all the time about, you know, want to have a new business and want to leave their jobs, but they leave, you know, work for themselves. They just really just want a job gonna pay them some more money.
Right.
Probably get a little bit more authority. They don't want to have the discipline of being on the hook. I mean, the accountability of being on the hook of I got to do this all myself. Nobody want these problems. Nobody want that problem. It's just, doing it. And if it's like something in addition to what you have, great. But just talking about, I got to get off the plantation. I told folk all the time, boy, some benefits on that plantation. Shit. There's a health care on that plantation. PTO on that plantation. You know what I'm saying?
It's the call in. Work still get done on that plantation.
Yeah.
When you call into your own business, ain't nothing gonna get done.
Hey, man. This time of year, folk call in, they need their taxes done. We can't deliver. Hey, on to the next one.
Right.
On to the next one. Hey, brother, I seen your video on YouTube, man. Hey, man, I need you to do my taxes, man. I know you're the man to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, listen, I'm finna go on vacation. I'll be out for a couple days. Can you go back? Oh, yeah. I'll call you back.
Never hear from you.
Play that you want to.
Right.
And you go to work, you're going to get paid regardless if they making money that day or not, right?
Right.
So I just think a lot of times people don't want to be honest with themselves. And again, we start talking about, having these financial institutions around, and we're not necessarily nurturing them to make sure they there for a while. Mm-hmm. It's gonna constantly be the case. It's gonna constantly be the case. Ain't nobody got any. No one has any comments. Nobody want to call in. 678. Now let me tell y'all something.
They be scared of that phone.
I campaign so damn hard about these damn phones.
They be scared of the phone. They don't want to call in when you're giving away something. You need to start giving away short dollar T-shirts.
Short dollar T-shirt.
Yeah.
I think that'll change stuff.
Yeah, that'll change. Get the momentum going.
Okay.
Short dollar T-shirts. Short dollar. Ask them a question like, who? The last video I had, I said such and such. Did anybody remember that video? Then they'll start watching your videos. Mm-hmm. I can't give y'all. Let me give you this formula offline.
There you go. Well, we're looking at that.
Right.
Got Ocean Spray 2 black-owned banks. Yeah, tonight show we're discussing. Why do we need black-owned banks? If you just coming in later in the discussion, because we're going to wrap it up in a little bit with the show, feel free to go to my YouTube channel, Mr. Short Dollar, and check out the show in its entirety. And in general, we've been discussing why do we need black-owned banks, Mm-hmm. And I'm from the school of thought, because so many people are like, yeah, we need them, yes, we need them. But theoretically, I think it's great, like, again, from a symbolic standpoint, the issue is always going to come back is what? We're going to need people to know how to bank.
Right.
And far too often, people don't know how to bank.
That'd be the issue.
They hoping how to bank. Mm-hmm. They're hoping the bank give them some money and do certain things for them, but it's not feasible. Mm-hmm. It's not feasible because, again, they have issues going on, and as opposed to people, taking some time, 6 months to a year, and I might be stretching it with that to get everything corrected. I gotta have it now, and far too often people do what? They get access to Navy Federal Credit Union. Mm-hmm. I can do this and go to this MasterCard. And now they've got credit lines for 20 and 30%, mm-hmm. and they're damn more in debt before they even got started.
They was broke. They were broke before, but they wasn't as deeply in debt.
Well, first you were broke. Now you and your LLC broke. Yeesh. Ain't that some bullshit?
Right. LLC got bad credit already. I get it. That's true.
That's some BS, boy. And far too often people don't want to just be straight up with that. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be straight up with that. So the bottom line is, again, let's not push what we can't keep, guys. Let's not push what we can't keep. And we need to be prepared to actually, when we get stuff in our community or get things that can help us, be prepared to keep it.
And sustain it.
Yeah. And that's just real. Mm-hmm. That's real. We can say in campaign, we need more rec centers, we need more computer centers and stuff like that. Then we get them, we don't use them. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing with the banking. Again, people, you can look at a man in the mirror or sit there and look at it. If there was a niche for customers to come in and to actually be able to take advantage of these different lending programs, I think we'll have black-owned banks that be thriving. Mm-hmm. The flip side of it is they already have funds allocated to financial literacy, how to actually get yourself in a position, but them damn classes be empty.
Mm-hmm. They have free online courses. Some of these colleges give you courses on Saturday, be a free course. Like you go up there and do a free course. I did a couple of the West Georgia College or something like that around up the street a few years back when I first moved to Douglasville. They have free courses on Saturday. They free.
Man, let me tell you something. Real quick. Free Spirit 5061 said I'm working so I can only listen. I totally understand that. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel. Like I said, we got over 600 videos on the YouTube channel. Everything's segregated in a different playlist. A lot of good information where, you know, you may be tied up, take advantage of it. So when you get a free moment, you can do what you have to do to put yourself in a great position. I don't know if we had the show going then, you know, with the 100, we had that big financial empowerment conference up at Banneker High. We had Wells Fargo, Chase, Century 21, Farmers Bank, all these big corporate sponsors. Ain't hardly anybody show up.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Ain't hardly anybody. We ran radio promos, all kind of stuff, social media blasts. When you tell people they got to do something like read, spend some time,
right?
Ain't gonna happen. You start talking about gonna give you some free grants, some grant money, line around the corner. Line around the corner. And so that's the thing about it. Like, look, that's people sometimes in the position ahead of you because they doing the things you don't want to do. Just keeping it real.
Right.
Just keeping it real. We had all those big sponsors there, and that was glaring to me.
You know, when Mike never said about starting their banks and stuff, and I'm not going to quote word for word, but you know, the whole thing premise was we need to get back to Black Wall Street. So I think people don't realize that why Black Wall Street was so successful and Tulsa, Oklahoma was so successful because we weren't allowed to.
Yeah, no other option.
Right.
You grab this. You reached the dollar hour. How's it going?
Hello.
Hey, you reached the dollar hour. How's it going?
Going pretty good. I was just calling. I guess I'll be the first one to get my T-shirt for calling in. I'll be watching your show.
We have an awesome layaway plan.
No, I was just calling about the topic for tonight. I was just
well, who am I speaking with first?
Shamika.
Oh, what's up, Shamika? What's going on? She's like, you don't know? I'm sorry.
No, I was just calling in first to get my T-shirt, so I'll send in my information for DJ Lab to, you know, get that mailed out to me. But anyway, can you guys explain to me why are a lot of our black-owned banks funded by the government?
Well, I don't think there's a lot of black-owned banks that are funded by the government. I think all banks have some kind of subsidiaries that come from the federal government. So, you know, in essence, banks are regulated. They're all FDIC insured. So there's always regulation that goes with banks. So I don't know if it's a black bank thing. I think all banks are. I think all banks, you know, depending on what level of size they are, or depending on what niche they're servicing, there may be certain different avenues that they can take funding from for the government. But I don't think that's a black-owned bank. I think every bank has different things that they can do, because you see there are a lot of financial literacy, a lot of community redevelopment. You know, again, you know, I'm just speaking in terms of just being a member of the 100. We get a lot of donations from Chase, Truist, Wells, because we have a certain relationship. They have money allocated to community development, youth programs, just like some banks may have different stuff that, you know, that may be, you know, again, that whole community development aspect. And some may get more depending on the size. Some may get, you know, money in regards to if they set up in different zones. Okay.
Maybe she pushed the button by accident.
Okay, but to that point, it can vary depending on where you're located, who you service, things like that. So I think all banks get some kind of funding.
I think when you are FDIC insured, because that's kind of like taxpayer money. Like if your bank, if something happens and your bank needs to give all of us our money back, there's certain regulations and guidelines you have to go by in order to get that FDIC insured.
Yeah, and I think pretty much most banks, I mean, you might have private lenders or just different groups that are not regulated, but they're not quote unquote an actual bank.
Right.
But you know, banks have to get, you know, regulated.
That was the thing with Bitcoin. You know, it wasn't regulated.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying, it wasn't insured. So if you put your money in Bitcoin and somebody loses the key or somebody disappears with your money, you don't have no way to get your money back.
Well, that goes back to the crash of 08 when everybody had, you know, millions of dollars into the bank and they lost all their money. The issue was you only was able to recoup $250,000. And a lot of people just, you know, I ain't gonna say who those people were. They were jumping off buildings.
Right. 250,000.
Yeah, that's all I get after 2 or 3 million.
Spend a month.
You know,
right.
But that was the thing about it. Free Spirit 5061 said I used to do this type of class with my Girl Scouts. so beneficial. Yeah, and I will tell you this. There are 600 videos on the YouTube channel covering all kind of different information for entrepreneurship, business, personal finance, financing, a lot of great information. They even have some of my speaking engagements on there as well. So, if definitely if you still affiliated with the Girl Scouts, there'll be a lot of great information to share with the kids. I have a lot of speeches I've done in regards to financial literacy and finance, accounting. When I've spoken to high school students, that's on the YouTube channel as well on the speech playlist. So there's a lot of great information for you guys to take advantage of. We did what was that we did on Metropolitan? Was that like a black empowerment and everything?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Just think about a lot of great information there for you guys. When I done my interviews, when I given interviews or people interview me, all that stuff's on the YouTube channel. A lot of great information there for people to take advantage of. But I hope we answer your question, because, like I said, I don't think it's a color thing in regards to accepting the money. I think it's more of a structure thing in regards to how they're receiving it. And supposed to how they're supposed to delve it out to the community or their particular customers in regards to the funding that they may receive.
Slick say, what about all these people giving? What about all these apps giving people loans now, like Dave and Earn It? I guess that's Dave and Earn It, or Don't Earn It.
I mean, you got people that give you loans. Don't get me wrong, but it's the cost of the borrower. I mean, at the end of the day, the most structured bank is going to be probably what? Your lowest rate.
Right.
And then you start going into those particular places, they're actually able to give access because they don't have what? Traditional overhead. Because they may be on, that's that question about it may be online bank, so they don't have those particular things, so they have a lot more flexibility with doing it. But the cost to borrow is going to be higher. And when I mean cost to borrow, the interest rate, you got, again, remember guys, the world is flat. Everything at your fingertips. You got all these different places. Lending Tree, Prosper, which are both. Prosper is actually where you can actually invest your money into the bank, into the actual lender, where you can invest. You say, I want to put in more of a riskier product, and you got an opportunity for the rate to go higher as an investor, but they're going to lend the money out to people that are more high risk, and they're going to pay a higher rate. And that's how Prosper works on both ends. For you putting money in there and somebody borrowing money. But again, like when you go to those particular places, the cost of borrow is just going to be higher.
Right.
And a lot of times people just aren't realistic. They're like, well, look, man, I just borrowed $50,000. My cousin got $50,000 loan. He's only paying, $400 a month. Y'all got me paying $800 a month, but they gave it to you at 40%.
Right.
I mean, that's what you want.
Got that 20.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the thing about, I don't think people just want to take that consideration, because again, that's that whole. They get accessibility confused with it being a good thing or not. Just because they gave it to you don't make it a good thing.
Right.
But you see it, and that's what's all on the internet. Here's the play to get this money, get this money, get this card. You never, ever, ever, ever hear anybody say what's the rate. Never hear the rate.
The rate.
People always telling you what to get, what you need to do to get this loan, to get this credit card, but they never tell you to look at the rate or look at the cost of paying it back.
Yeah, that's like the guy, when I told you about the guy, we were talking about DJ equipment. He was like, he was talking about how much DJ equipment he had, like $30,000 or $40,000 worth of new equipment. I was like, how can you afford that? He's like, oh, it's a write-off. It's a write-off.
Well, that was the live feed I did last night.
Oh, okay.
Everybody writing all this stuff off.
Right.
Like, you wrote off, people tell you, you want to go on a vacation. You can just put that on your business and write it off. And you sitting there like, we got $4,000 in business travel and things like that, but your ass only got $500 in revenue.
Right.
How the hell you going to justify that?
Right.
How can you justify that?
How can you justify $40,000 worth of DJ equipment? Do you do that many events? No, just write it off. That's why I came to you. I was like, you believe this? Like,
yeah, and people are selling it.
Right.
But they ain't gonna never co-sign for it. You get that letter from the IRS.
Right.
You go through that audit, they ain't gonna co-sign on it.
You did. I get $40,000 worth of equipment. I write off my taxes, and they be like, "Well, you did no shows this year." Like,
and to be honest with you, man, it's very irresponsible to give people that kind of advice. But I don't think people care about it. They just want to get traction. In regards to that, that's why I say, be careful. Just if things were so easy, everybody had it.
Right.
If it were that easy,
we all do it.
And a lot of times people are like, well, now you just didn't know. Bullshit. Come on now. Come on now. Nobody that damn dumb.
I just look this way.
Come on now, for real. Get this Mr. Rogers sweater confused. Hell, man.
People their neighborhood.
Come on now.
This was day for a neighbor.
There you go. But listen, guys, or anybody else got any questions or anything like that? I appreciate you calling in too, Shamika.
Nope.
Nobody got any questions, no concerns, nothing about grants, nothing about starting a business? Welcome to call in.
Give them a few seconds.
Okay.
They get their thoughts together.
678-740-9894. Again, 678-740-9894.
Right.
So, you know,
I need that Jeopardy music.
tax season been going pretty good so far.
Tax is good.
Tax season going pretty good so far and everything. So that's usually pretty good, you know, first month.
Get touched with their taxes done
Yeah, if you
the right way.
if you want to get your tax done the right way, you know, you can give me a call. My company's Majestic Business Service. You can give us a call at 678. Damn, what is the number? 678-6. What is the number to Majestic?
I don't
Nobody
know
go.
that one. About all right.
678-479-4007. I had the same number 20 years. 678-479-4007. Or you can visit the web at www.majesticbiz.com. Again, 678-479-4007. If you go to the Mr. Short Dollar YouTube channel, look in the description section of the video. All of my contact information is listed in the description section. That being all the websites, appointment links, the phone number to the office, all that information is there. So again, please go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Every video, all 600 have the same, pretty much the same consistent information in regards to the different social media platforms, contact information. So, you know, if you ever have to look and find something, you can definitely go to the YouTube channel and get in contact with us there. If you want to book an appointment, as far as consultation, you know, we have the 10-minute free consultation, a 30-minute session, an hour-long sessions. And the 10-minute session, free session, is really 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't call that with an hour question.
Right.
Yeah, brother. So I gotta. Nah. People slick, boy.
They'll get you.
They slick. But listen, man, we're gonna go on and wrap everything up and stuff. You know, I enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate Shamika for calling in, and thanks for everybody that commented and had questions as well. But definitely, again, go to the YouTube channel. Want to say again, thanks for all the love and support. Feel free again to check out other different platforms. But again, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Take advantage of all the great information. We also got videos where I broke down the schedule A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, exactly what those forms are, what they're used for, how they're filed, how that information transfers over to your 1040. All those videos on Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. A lot of great information. Picking your tax preparer, knowing when you got the right, even information. I even did a video the other day, I think, about how to choose the best tax bank for yourself. All that information, not tax bank, business bank for yourself. All that information is on Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube. So take advantage of the great information for free. How about that?
Right.
How about that? Okay, thanks again, Free Spirit. Hey, no, I appreciate you tuning in. I really appreciate you tuning in. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. Y'all be safe out there. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel again and subscribe. And I'll be talking with you later. Take care.